Hey guys, Walt Aldridge here again, and today I just wanted to try to answer the question the best I can about how I write a song. People ask all the time, how do you approach writing a song? I mean, do you just sit and wait till you get this brilliant idea, or do you light candles and chant or whatever? And the truth is that most pro writers that I know make a job of it. We go in and we sit down with the idea in mind that we're going to write a song. And the main thing is coming up with an idea. A lot of times you go to these co-writes without an idea, and you just, by either your co-writer has an idea or just talking about what's going on between the two, you eventually will come up with an idea. And from that point, having the idea is the tough part, or having a compelling idea is the tough part for most people. After you've done it enough, you know how to write a song. But it's making sure that you have that compelling idea and not settling. I'll give you an example. Let's say you go in for a co-writing session and your co-writer says, I've been thinking about writing a song called I Don't Love You Anymore. And the idea being that I've got this friend that was married for a long time. One day his wife came in and said, I don't love you anymore, out of the clear blue. And how devastating that must be, and how maybe we all experience that to some degree, and it's a human emotion that would be tough to get through, so maybe a song would be in order. And so I think about that, and I see songs sort of in, it's kind of a left brain approach to it, but I see them like an outline that I'm writing a report. And I see that title, I Don't Love You Anymore, and I would think, okay, the first verse would have to, because the title is I Don't Love You Anymore, the implication is I did love you at one time. So the first verse has to kind of say that to me. It tells the story, gives us a backstory, and it says, there was a time that I thought we would last forever, everything was great, and it was all that I wanted love to be. But, and that would lead us up to a chorus that said something to the effect of, time changes things. The world spins, and people find they've grown apart, and they move in and out of love's revolving doors, and there's nothing that you did and nothing you could have done, but I don't love you anymore. So having written the first chorus, I know then that the second verse needs to tell more of the story. Because the title is I Don't Love You Anymore, and the listener is wondering why. So they're thinking maybe somebody else came along, or maybe he was abusive to her in some way, or negligent. And so maybe this second verse says, it's not that not something that you didn't do that you should have, or it's not something you did do that I didn't like, and it's not that somebody else came along. It's just that. And we go into the chorus again, that time changes people, and the world spins, and they move in and out of love's revolving door, and I wish you the best, but I don't love you anymore. And I mean, I think that I wish you that the best, that sentiment might really belong in a bridge, where you sort of, that's the culmination of the whole song, where you say, and I want you to know I always want what's best for you, and I know you want what's best for me, and I just think that as long as we're together, we're not going to get to that love that we both deserve. So goodbye, and into a final chorus that once again reiterates, I don't love you anymore. So that's kind of the way that I sketch out a song. Now, here's the danger with doing it that way, because now we know, within 5 minutes here, we sort of had an instinct. We know sort of what the chorus is going to be about. We know what the first verse is about, second verse is about, and the bridge is about. And it's just a question of filling in the blanks and putting the appropriate lines and rhymes in those blanks if you buy into us writing it that way. The only other thing really is sort of deciding where it goes musically. In the case of this song, we haven't started with a musical idea, we've sort of started with a lyrical idea. And when I hear that, I usually have a reaction to a lyric in some visceral way. In this particular case, it's going to be a ballad or a sad song. It's going to be but the world spins around and moving in and out of love's revolving doors. Da da dee, da da da, da dee, da 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 da. But I don't love you anymore. That's kind of where it hits you musically, right? I mean, it's not going to be something really up-tempo and fun. So we've got it mapped out, and the chances are pretty good here we can write a song today if we really dig in, or at least get a good start on it. Now I'm going to add one addendum to all of that that's very important. What you can't do is settle for the first thing that comes down the pike. If you're all buying into that being our song right now, my only question is, did we even start with a great song idea with I Don't Love You Anymore? That's a fairly plain idea that you don't really, once you've kind of heard that title, there's not going to be a whole lot more to say. So make sure that you've got a really compelling and unique and cool idea to start with before you start writing your song. But from that point, that's kind of the way I write most of the songs that I write. Some people write from a stream of consciousness approach where they just start playing and saying stuff and something cool comes out, and I have written a lot of songs that way, but for me the easiest way to write it is in a more of an organized crafting approach for most songs that I'm trying to write for the radio. So try writing some songs that way if you haven't. See what